Imagine cruising along Portugal's stunning coastline. The sun on your face, that amazing smell of pine and sea air. You're picturing those vibrant cities, lovely historic towns, winding roads through, well, just breathtaking landscapes. It really is a dream.
Oh, absolutely.
But then you approach what you think is going to be a normal toll booth, and there's nothing, no barrier, just this overhead gantry thing.
Yeah.
That's often the moment, isn't it, where that tiny bead of sweat forms for anyone new to driving here. Understanding the highway tolls in Portugal can feel a bit like navigating a maze.
It really can.
Whether you're just visiting or, thinking about living in this beautiful country. So our mission today is basically to cut through all that confusion. We're going to extract the really important bits of knowledge from our sources about the Portuguese toll system.
Make it make sense.
Exactly, making you feel well-informed and ready to drive with, well, absolute confidence.
And that moment of uncertainty you described, that's precisely why this deep dive matters so much. Portugal has this fantastic, really well-maintained highway network. It's great to drive on. But navigating its unique toll system isn't just about, convenience. It's actually essential to avoid unexpected fines and, maybe more importantly, to save potentially hundreds of euros every year.
Hundreds.
Well, yeah, easily if you drive regularly. So we're going to try and demystify the complexities, traditional versus the fully electronic systems and all the different ways to pay.
Yeah.
Give you that practical, actionable knowledge.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So at its core, Portugal uses a pay-per-use model for its highways.
That's right.
So unlike some other European countries where you might just buy a sticker, a vignette, for a set period.
Yeah, simpler, but maybe less fair if you don't drive much.
Right. Here, you're charged based on the actual distance you travel and, crucially, the type of vehicle you're driving. It's a very precise system.
It is, which can be great if you're an occasional user, like you say.
Right. So is the main idea here that Portugal's system is, well, designed to be granular, maybe fairer in a way, but that fairness comes with a bit more complexity, like you need more user interaction than just sticking something on your windscreen.
Precisely. It's about that direct cost link to how much you actually use the road. And that precise system, it comes in two distinct operational models you'll definitely encounter.
Okay.
You'll find the traditional toll booths, the ones with actual physical barriers.
The familiar kind.
Exactly. And then there are the fully electronic tolls, which rely completely on overhead detection systems. And knowing how both of these work is, well, absolutely crucial for anyone driving regularly in Portugal.
Okay, so let's start with the familiar then. Traditional toll booths, these are the structures you're probably used to seeing, right? Multiple lanes, barriers.
Right.
And you said there are two main types here.
That's right. First, you've got single-point tolls. Think of these like a one-off fee, maybe to cross a specific bridge, like the Vasco da Gama Bridge in Lisbon, or enter a very short, dedicated bit of highway. You just pay the fixed rate, the barrier lifts, and you're through.
Simple enough.
Then there are the distance-based tolls. This is more common on the long stretches of motorway. Here, it's like you pick up a ticket when you get on.
Right, like on the French autoroutes sometimes.
Exactly. And then you pay based on how far you've traveled when you exit.
Okay. And what about the lanes at these traditional booths?
Good question. You usually have a few options. There are manual lanes with an attendant where you can use cash or cards. Handy if you like human interaction or have non-standard issues.
Or just want to use cash.
Just want to use cash, yeah.
Right.
Then you've got automatic lanes with machines. These typically take both cash and cards too, but it's all automated.
And the fast lane?
Yes, the distinct Via Verde lanes. You'll see them clearly marked with a big green V symbol. These are exclusively for electronic payment using a transponder device in your car. You just drive through slowly and it registers automatically.
Okay, now, this next system, this is where I think a lot of people get a bit confused because it's so different. The fully electronic tolls.
This is the one, yeah.
The ones with absolutely no physical booths, just those overhead gantries with cameras and sensors, right? They just scan your plate as you drive under.
That's it. And you'll find these electronic tolls are particularly common on the newer highways. Like the A22 down in the Algarve is almost entirely electronic.
Right, I've heard about that one.
Yeah, and the A23 connecting the interior regions, the A25 linking Spain across to the coast near Aveiro, and quite a few of the urban highways around Lisbon and Porto too. They use them to keep traffic flowing.
Makes sense in cities.
But that's the key difference, and like you said, the biggest challenge for many drivers. No booths means fantastic, smooth traffic flow, which is lovely. But, and this is the big but, it means you have to arrange the payment separately. You can do it in advance sometimes, or, and this is really crucial, you have to pay within 5 business days after you've used the highway.
5 business days. Okay, that's a key detail. What's the biggest mistake people make with these then? Just forgetting.
Forgetting or just not realizing they have to do anything at all because there was no barrier. That's the trap.
Right. So you've had that lovely drive, you've cruised under the electronic gantry feeling very modern, and now you're thinking, okay, how on earth do I pay for this? Let's start with people who have Portuguese registered vehicles and presumably a Portuguese bank account. You've got a few solid options, right?
Yes, for residents with local plates and accounts, it's more straightforward. And the what you called the gold standard earlier is definitely Via Verde.
The green V thing again.
Exactly. It's a small electronic transponder device you stick on your windscreen, usually behind the mirror. It automatically charges the tolls directly to your linked Portuguese bank account.
And the big benefit is
Seamless travel. You just use those dedicated green V lanes at traditional booths or drive normally under the electronic gantries, and it handles everything. No stopping, no tickets, no remembering to pay later.
that sounds very appealing.
It is. And it's not just convenience. There are real cost savings, too. Especially, and this is important for bikers, motorcyclists get a fantastic 30% discount on all tolls, but only if they use Via Verde.
30%, that's significant.
It really adds up. Plus, you get detailed monthly bills, which is great for tracking expenses, especially if you use your car for business.
Okay, that sounds like the way to go if you live here and drive often. So, what do you actually need to get this gold standard Via Verde system set up?
Right, the practicalities. You'll need your NIF, that's your Portuguese tax number, essential for almost everything here.
The famous NIF.
The famous NIF indeed.
Yeah.
You'll also need your Portuguese bank account details, specifically the IBAN. Then your vehicle's registration document, the Documento Único Automóvel. Some form of valid ID, like your passport or residency card, and usually a proof of address in Portugal.
Standard stuff for Portugal, then.
Pretty much. There is a small monthly fee for the device rental, usually quite low, maybe ranging from about 0.60 to 1.25, something like that, depending on the specific plan you choose. They have different options like basic, frequent traveler, even plans for company fleets.
Okay. But what if you say prefer to keep a tighter rein on expenses, maybe prepay? Or perhaps you don't have that Portuguese bank account set up just yet.
Good point. For those situations, there is a prepaid Via Verde option. It works similarly, but instead of linking to a bank account for direct debit, you top up the device with credit in advance.
Ah, okay. Where do you top it up?
You can do that at CTT post offices. They're everywhere. Also at pay shop agents, which are often found in local corner shops or kiosks, and at any multi-banco ATM, which is Portugal's big interbank network. Very convenient.
So still pretty flexible.
Definitely. Now, if you don't have Via Verde at all, and you use those electronic-only highways, you absolutely must remember that 5 business day payment window.
But don't forget.
Do not forget, you can pay after the fact at those same places. CTT post offices, pay shop agents, or using the reference number at a multi-banco ATM. You can usually look up the amount owed online first on the CTT website or the Infraestruturas de Portugal site. You can also pay at the info desk at Porto Airport, Francisco Sá Carneiro. The key thing you'll need is your vehicle's license plate number.
Always need the license plate number.
Always. And one more option for flexibility, there are these anonymous prepaid cards you can buy. They're not tied to a specific vehicle, just a vehicle class, so you could theoretically use one card for multiple cars if they're in the same toll class.
Okay, that covers the local setup pretty well. But we know a lot of listeners might be driving foreign registered cars, maybe coming down from the UK or France or Spain. For you, the solutions are a bit different, aren't they?
They are, yeah. You can't just use the standard Portuguese resident options easily. But they have systems specifically for visitors. One is called Via Verde Visitors.
Ah, a visitor version. Makes sense.
Exactly. It's a temporary transponder device, works just like the regular Via Verde for convenience, lets you use all the lanes, pays automatically. It's tailored for short-term use, though.
How does the cost work?
There's a rental cost. It's usually around €6 for the first week, and then about £1.50 for each extra week you have it. There's also a refundable deposit, maybe 15 or so, that you get back when you return the device in good condition. And it's valid for a maximum of 90 days.
Where do you get this visitor device?
You can typically get them at designated welcome points near the major border crossings as you drive into Portugal. Also at some CTT post offices in main tourist areas and at the airports in Porto and Faro.
Okay. What other options are there for foreign plates?
Another really popular one, especially for the electronic-only roads, is the Easy Toll system. This is quite clever. You drive up to a special terminal near the border.
I think I've seen those.
Probably. You insert your credit or debit card Visa, MasterCard usually work, and it links that card directly to your car's license plate. Then, whenever you pass under an electronic toll gantry, it automatically charges your card.
That sounds easy.
It is pretty easy, hence the name. There's a small registration fee, less than €1, like Mattis 0.74, and then a small admin fee, maybe 0.32, each time you actually use a tolled section. The link is valid for 30 days.
And where do you register for Easy Toll?
They have dedicated terminals at key border entry points. For example, coming from Spain on the A28 near Viana do Castelo, the A24 near Chaves, the A25 near Vilar Formoso, and the A22 in the Algarve near Villarreal de Santo Antonio.
Okay. Any other card options?
Yes, there are also prepaid toll cards. You can buy these online at CTT post offices or service stations. They come in set amounts like €5, €20, or €40. You activate it by sending an SMS linking it to your license plate. It's valid for 1 year or until the credit runs out. Each trip still has that small admin fee, around 1.32. And finally, there's something called toll service cards. These are usually for very specific needs, like a prepaid fixed amount for a 3-day trip, maybe covering a specific route like getting from the airport into Spain or something, again linked to your license plate.
Lots of options then, even for visitors. Okay, so we know how to pay. But what about how much? You mentioned vehicle type earlier. What does this all mean for your wallet? How does the classification work?
Yes, the vehicle classes. This is absolutely key to budgeting your travel costs, and it's not always obvious just looking at your car.
Right.
Portugal uses a 4-tier system, Class 1 to Class 4, and believe me, the rates jump significantly between classes.
Okay, break it down for us. Class 1.
Class 1 is generally motorcycles and most standard passenger cars. Think your typical Renault Clio, VW Golf, Ford Focus. The technical definition usually involves being under 1.10 meters in height, measured vertically over the front wheel axle, and having 2 axles.
Okay, standard cars and bikes. Class 2.
Class 2 covers slightly larger vehicles, still with 2 axles, but taller at that front axle point, generally between 1.10 meters and 1.30 meters. This often includes many popular SUVs like a Renault Kadjar or a Nissan Qashqai, and also small vans.
Right, so my small SUV might be Class 2?
It might well be. But here's a crucial cost-saving tip we touched on earlier. Some vehicles that technically fall into Class 2 based on height can actually pay Class 1 rates if and only if they're using the Via Verde electronic transponder.
Wait, really? So just by having Via Verde, even if my car is technically Class 2 height, I might get charged the cheaper Class 1 rate?
Exactly. For specific models listed by Via Verde, this is a huge potential saving, possibly hundreds of euros a year if you use toll roads often. It's one of the biggest hidden benefits of getting the Via Verde device for certain vehicles.
That's amazing. Definitely something people need to check for their specific car model. Okay, so Class 1, Class 2. What about 3 and 4?
Class 3 is for vehicles with 3 axles, typically larger vans or small trucks, and generally over that 1.3 meter height threshold.
Got it. Big vans, small lorries.
And Class 4 is for the heavyweights vehicles with 4 or more axles. Think large trucks, articulated lorries, and buses.
And the price difference is significant.
Oh, absolutely. Just to give you a rough idea, a journey that might cost, say, €5 for a Class 1 car could easily be €9 or €10 for a Class 2, maybe 12 for Class 3, and potentially 15 or even more for a Class 4 vehicle, all on the exact same stretch of road.
Wow. Okay, so knowing your vehicle's class, and especially checking that Via Verde Class 1 eligibility for Class 2 vehicles, is a really important financial insight, particularly if you're buying a car here.
Definitely something to factor into your purchase decision, yes.
Okay, for expats especially, every euro saved counts, right? And avoiding unnecessary hassle is, well, priceless. So let's talk practical tips, some actionable advice, and maybe some money-saving strategies.
Absolutely. First off, if you're driving regularly, especially if you live here or spend a lot of time here, seriously consider getting Via Verde.
Even with the small monthly fee?
Yes. The convenience factor alone often makes it worth it. No scrambling for change, no worrying about paying later. Plus, as we just discussed, the potential to pay Class 1 rates in a Class 2 vehicle, and that huge 30% discount for motorcyclists.
Which you only get with Via Verde.
Only with Via Verde.
Yeah.
That discount alone makes it a no-brainer for bikers.
Okay, what else?
Plan your routes strategically. Sometimes there are excellent toll-free alternatives, especially the older national roads, the Estradas Nacionais or EN roads. They might take a little longer, but they're often much more scenic too.
Any examples?
A classic one is the EN 125 in the Algarve. It runs largely parallel to the very expensive electronically tolled A22 motorway. If you're not in a tearing hurry, the EN125 is a perfectly good and completely free alternative for getting around the region.
Good tip for the Algarve. Anything else?
Well, Portugal doesn't really have dynamic peak pricing on tolls like some places, but avoiding the busiest times can still indirectly save you money on fuel and general wear and tear on your vehicle. Less stop-start traffic.
Makes sense.
Also, if you use your car for business purposes, remember to keep all your toll receipts or download your Via Verde statements. These expenses might be tax deductible depending on your circumstances.
Ah, good point for business users.
And finally, looping back to vehicle classes, if you are in the market for a car in Portugal, actively consider the vehicle class. Choosing a slightly smaller SUV that qualifies for Class 1 or is eligible for Class 1 rates with Via Verde compared to a slightly larger one that's definitely Class 2 could genuinely save you hundreds of euros every single year in toll fees.
That's a really practical buying tip. Okay, now let's flip this around. Let's talk about the pitfalls. The common and often costly mistakes that new residents or even seasoned drivers new to certain routes can stumble into. We want to help you avoid these because, like you said, nothing sours a nice drive like getting an unexpected fine in the mail weeks later.
You're absolutely right. And the biggest mistake, by far, the one that catches most people out, is simply ignoring the electronic toll payments.
Just driving through and hoping for the best.
Or just genuinely not realizing. Because there's no physical barrier, some drivers, especially visitors perhaps, might think it's optional, or that their home country's toll system covers it somehow. It doesn't.
And the consequences.
They're not trivial. Failure to pay within that 5-business-day window triggers administrative fines. These typically start around €25 per unpaid toll, which is often 10 times the original toll cost or more.
Wow, per toll.
Per passage, yes. And if you ignore those fines, the penalties escalate significantly. It can lead to legal action, and it can definitely cause problems when it comes to renewing your vehicle's registration or even potentially impacting residency permit renewals down the line. It's just not worth ignoring.
Okay, message received. Pay your electronic tolls. What other common pitfalls?
Using the wrong payment lanes at the traditional booths. Remember those green Via Verde lanes? They're only for cars with an active Via Verde transponder. Driving through one without it will likely result in a fine, as your plate is photographed.
Don't chance it.
Don't chance it. Also, be aware that the automatic payment machines might not accept all types or denominations of cash, or sometimes foreign cards might be rejected. Have a backup plan. Some lanes might also have height restrictions, and some toll plazas have specific exit-only lanes that don't actually accept any payment. Make sure you're in the right lane well in advance.
Good point about lane choice. Anything else?
Don't assume your foreign payment methods will work everywhere for post-payment. While EasyToll uses foreign cards, trying to pay later at a CTT or using a multi-banco reference might require a Portuguese bank card or account sometimes.
Yeah.
And contactless payment isn't always available at the automatic booths either.
Okay.
And one final, really important one for expats who import their car. If you switch your vehicle from foreign license plates to Portuguese plates, you must update your toll payment accounts immediately.
To avoid getting double billed.
Exactly. Or worse, having payments fail because the system is looking for your old foreign plate linked to, say, EasyToll, while the cameras are now recording your new Portuguese plate. It can create a real administrative mess. Update Via Verde, cancel EasyToll, whatever system you were using.
Okay, solid warnings there. So let's say you're an expat, you're getting settled, you've listened to this and you've decided, right, Via Verde is the way forward for me. What are the actual practical steps you need to take to get set up?
Okay, let's walk through it. First step, gather your documents. Remember, you'll need that NIF.
The Portuguese tax number.
Your Portuguese bank account details, specifically the IBAN. Your car's registration document, the Documento Único. A valid ID, like your passport or residency card. And proof of your Portuguese address, like a utility bill or rental contract.
Got it. All the key paperwork. Then what?
Then you need to visit a Via Verde service point. You can find these quite easily in major shopping centers across the country. Many CTT post offices also offer Via Verde services, and there are dedicated Via Verde stores in some locations.
And do they usually speak English?
In the main centers and tourist areas, yes. The staff often speak English and are quite used to helping expats get set up. They'll help you fill out the application form.
Okay, fill out the form. Then do you get the little box thing straight away?
Sometimes you get the transponder device right there on the spot. Other times they might mail it to your Portuguese address. Usually takes about 5 to 7 business days.
Okay. And once you have the device?
You just need to install it correctly in your car. There are clear instructions, but typically it sticks to the windscreen, just behind the rear view mirror. Make sure the area is clean so it adheres properly.
Right. Stick it on, and then...
Then you're basically good to go. It's usually active immediately or within a very short time. The best way to test it is simply on your next journey through a toll booth. Listen for the little beep as you go through the Via Verde lane. That confirms it's working.
A satisfying beep.
A very satisfying beep. And it's worth noting, if all that sounds a bit daunting, especially if your Portuguese isn't strong yet, there are services available, relocation agents and assistants, who can actually help expats navigate this whole process, from getting the NIF to setting up the Via Verde account.
Good to know help is available. Okay, fantastic. Let's wrap up with some quick-fire questions, the ones that seem to pop up all the time. First one. How long exactly do you have to pay those electronic tolls if you don't have Via Verde?
You have 5 business days starting from the day after you pass through the toll. Weekends and public holidays don't count towards those 5 days.
5 business days. Got it. Can I use my personal Via Verde device if I rent a car?
No, definitely not. Via Verde devices are strictly linked to a specific vehicle's license plate.
Mhm.
If you rent a car, you'll need to use the toll solution offered by the rental company.
Mm.
They usually have their own transponders you can rent, or just pay cash at traditional booths where possible. Don't try to use your own device.
Okay. What really happens if I just don't pay a toll in Portugal? We touched on fines, but anything else?
Well, as we said, unpaid tolls lead to those administrative fines, starting around 25 but escalating. If you continue not to pay, it can lead to legal collection proceedings, potentially wage garnishment or seizure of assets in extreme cases. And importantly, it can block the renewal of your vehicle's annual registration, the IUC road tax payment, and potentially complicate residency renewals. It's just not worth the hassle.
Definitely not. Are there actually any completely toll-free highways in Portugal?
Yes, there are. While most of the main long-distance autostradas, A roads, are tolled, there are sections of some motorways, like parts of the A26 or A11, that are free. Also, many of the IC roads, Itinerario Complementer, are high-quality dual carriageways and free. And, of course, the extensive network of national EN roads, Estradas Nacionais, are toll-free, though obviously slower.
So alternatives do exist. What if I think I've been overcharged or paid twice? Can I get a refund?
Yes, you can. You'll need to contact the specific toll operator, Brisa, Ascendi, etc., depending on the road directly. Provide them with proof of payment, your vehicle details, and explain the situation. It might take a bit of admin, but refunds are possible for genuine errors.
Good to know. And just to be absolutely clear, that 30% discount for motorcycles.
It's real, it's significant, but only if you are using a Via Verde transponder linked to your motorcycle's registration. You don't get it in cash or any other way.
Crystal clear. How can I check my toll charges online? See what I owe or what I've paid?
If you have Via Verde, their website and mobile app provide very detailed statements showing every journey, the cost, date, time, everything. Really easy to track. If you need to check potential outstanding electronic tolls to pay via CTT, you can usually use the Infraestruturas de Portugal website or the CTT website, enter your license plate number, and it should show any unpaid passages within the payment window.
Okay. And one last popular question. I have Via Verde for Portugal. Can I use it when I pop over the border into Spain?
Yes, you often can. Via Verde devices are generally compatible with the VIAT system used on most Spanish toll roads, autopistas de pie. So that little device can make cross-border travel much smoother too. Check the Via Verde website for specifics on coverage in Spain.
That's incredibly useful for cross-border trips.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully we've moved everyone listening from potentially having that bead of sweat you mentioned to feeling much clearer about things.
That's the goal.
This deep dive, I think, has really armed you with the essential knowledge to navigate Portugal's toll system with much more ease. Whether you're just planning a long holiday, an extended stay, or actually considering making Portugal your home, understanding these kinds of details is, well, it's a vital step towards smooth, stress-free driving here.
Absolutely. And maybe if we connect this to the bigger picture for a second, mastering these seemingly small logistical challenges, like really understanding the toll system, it does more than just save you money and hassle. It actually builds real, tangible confidence in navigating a whole new environment.
Yeah, that's a great point. Little victories.
Exactly. Which kind of raises an interesting question, doesn't it? What other overlooked details, maybe things that seem minor at first, could actually transform your experience of living in or exploring a new country? Transform it from feeling potentially overwhelming to feeling genuinely empowering, just by understanding them thoroughly. Something to think about.